Queen Zarathi of the Velkaran Empire had conquered 17 star systems, commanded fleets that blotted out suns, and negotiated treaties that reshaped galactic borders. Yet nothing in her 3 centuries of existence had prepared her for the moment she saw him. The human guard stood at attention outside the diplomatic hall on station Kepler 442, his posture rigid, his face expressionless behind the ceremonial helmet visor. When he lifted it to verify her credentials, Zarathi's breath caught, an embarrassing reaction for someone of her station. The resemblance was impossible, uncanny, terrifying. Roman Castellano had the same sharp jawline as her ex-husband, Criven, the same intense dark eyes that seemed to pierce through pretense, even the same slight scar above his left eyebrow. The only differences were the obvious ones. Roman was human, warm-blooded, and stood a full head shorter than Criven's towering Velkaran frame. "Your Majesty," Roman said, his voice professional, "welcome to the Sol Confederation's diplomatic summit." Zarathi's advisors exchanged glances. Her 4 eyes, 2 primary, 2 auxiliary, blinked in rapid succession, a telltale sign of her distress. Yes. Thank you, guard. Castellano, ma'am. Roman Castellano. The summit was meant to be straightforward. Humanity had recently achieved faster-than-light travel and sought to establish themselves among the galactic community. The Velkaran Empire, though wary of newcomers, had agreed to preliminary discussions. Zarathi herself had volunteered to lead the delegation, a decision she now questioned. Throughout the first day of negotiations, her attention wandered. Roman stood outside, rotating shifts with another guard, but whenever he was present, Zarathi found herself stealing glances. It wasn't attraction. She'd long since moved past such feelings for anyone resembling Criven. It was something deeper, a curiosity bordering on obsession. During a recess, she approached him directly, her entourage trailing at a respectful distance. "Guard Castellano," she said, her translator rendering her clicks and whistles into smooth English. "I must ask you something unusual." Roman straightened. "Of course, Your Majesty. Have you ever heard of parallel evolution theory? The idea that entirely separate species might develop similar traits?" His brow furrowed, that same expression Criven made when puzzled. "I've heard of convergent evolution, if that's what you mean. Like how birds and bats both developed wings." "Yes, but more specific, more uncanny." She paused, her scales shifting from diplomatic blue to a more vulnerable purple. "You remind me of someone I once knew, someone I was bonded to." Understanding flickered across Roman's face. "Your ex-husband? You've read the briefings. It's my job to know who's visiting the station." He softened slightly. "I'm sorry if my presence makes you uncomfortable, Your Majesty. I can request reassignment." "No." The word came out sharper than intended. "No, please, I find it oddly comforting, actually." That evening, after formal proceedings concluded, Zarathi found herself in the station's observation deck. She wasn't surprised when Roman appeared, still in uniform but off-duty now. "Your Majesty," he said, then added, "I was told I might find you here." "By whom?" "Your chief advisor. She said you might appreciate some company, someone who wouldn't judge." Zarathi's laugh was bitter. She always was perceptive. She gestured to the viewport where Earth hung like a blue jewel against the void. "Your world is beautiful. So much water, so much life." "We're lucky," Roman agreed, standing beside her, "though we nearly destroyed it a few times before figuring out how to work together." "That sounds familiar. The Velkaran Empire nearly fell to civil war before we unified." She turned to him. "May I ask you something personal?" "Go ahead. Why did you become a guard? With humans' short lifespans, surely there are more exciting pursuits?" Roman smiled, and there it was again, that expression she'd seen 1,000 times on Criven's face. "Because after humanity nearly tore itself apart, we learned that peace requires constant vigilance. Someone has to stand watch. Someone has to believe that tomorrow can be better than today." Criven used to say something similar, Zarathi whispered, before he changed, before power consumed him. What happened? He wanted to expand the empire indefinitely. Conquer, not negotiate. "I wanted to build alliances, create lasting peace." Her scales darkened. The divorce was catastrophic, politically and personally. Roman was quiet for a moment. Then, My grandmother used to say that sometimes we meet people who remind us of our past because we need to remember why we left it behind. Wise woman. She had her moments. He looked at Zarathi directly, fearlessly, something few dared. For what it's worth, Your Majesty, I think you made the right choice. Coming here, negotiating with us. It takes more courage to extend a hand than to raise a fist. Zarathi felt something shift inside her, a weight she'd carried for decades suddenly lightening. This human, this brief-lived creature who would be dust long before she reached her 4th century, had somehow understood what took her advisors years to grasp. Thank you, Roman Castellano, she said, for your honesty, and for reminding me that resemblance isn't destiny. The next day's negotiations proceeded smoothly. Zarathi was focused, confident, decisive. She barely glanced at Roman during the sessions. But when the treaty was finally signed, a historic agreement establishing humanity as a protected confederation under Velcoran oversight, she made a point of thanking him. Personally, you'll do great things, your species, she told him. I sense it. We'll try not to disappoint you, Roman replied with a grin. As her ship departed the station, Zarathi looked back at the human outpost and smiled. She'd come seeking political advantage and found something more valuable: perspective. The universe was vast, full of infinite possibilities and strange coincidences. Sometimes the face of the past wore the uniform of the future, and sometimes that was exactly what you needed to see.